Hello and welcome. I'm Mike Keepit from the Decorators Forum, and we are coming to you live from the intergalactic headquarters of Crown Trade in Darwin. The reason we're coming to you live, we're having a Q&A on water-based trim paints, in particular the Crown Fast Flow, and I'm sat here with the top boys from Crown. So let's meet the team.
Hi, my name's Paul Fish. I work in the Product Focus Laboratory. I've worked in the laboratory for over 30 years.
I'm John Pritchard. I'm one of the store managers for the Crown Decorating Centres for the past 3 years, with a previous history in DIY for the past 10 years.
Hello, I'm Matthew Brown and I'm the Senior Application Specialist at Crown Paints, and I work in the technical department.
So the only way this is going to work is if we can have your questions coming in, so interact with us as much as you possibly can, and let's try and make this quite enjoyable. We have got some stock questions that have been sent in over the past few days, but we can answer yours as we go on. So the first question from Andrew Allen. I like the fact that it's an interior and exterior product, but what makes it an exterior product compared to other similar items on the market at the present moment that are solely for interior use? Just wondering if I can trust it to work on an exterior, because I'm using the satin shortly on some exterior windows. Paul?
Right, well, we very carefully select the polymers that we use in these products, and it's the polymer that's the key for how it performs outside. We screen lots of different polymers from different suppliers and different types of polymers, and then we choose the one that best meets the properties that we want. We do natural exposure testing and accelerated weathering testing, so we can be confident that the product will perform when used outside.
Absolutely fantastic, thank you very much for that. The next question comes from Steve Markey. Steve's a good friend of mine. He comes from Leeds or wherever he is. He's a Yorkshire lad. Why don't you or any of the other paint suppliers give some sort of money off for bringing empty tins back for reuse or recycle, especially in this day and age when it's all about recycling?
We do. We do it in a way that you won't always notice. Crown's in partnership with a company called Nimtech. Nimtech is a charity-based foundation that works with the people that are on Job Seekers scheme. Everything does come back through our Nimtech system. All the plastic gets recycled, the paint gets recycled and gets sent out to charities. The plastic gets made into benches and donated. So if we were to start offering a rebate on this at a store level, we wouldn't be able to get involved with sort of Nimtech, who deal with the Prince's Trust, and we've just opened up a secondary site in our Hull branch. So the actual money that's going back into the communities via Nimtech is invaluable. So we do emphasise recycling. We are a big fan of it, but we put the money back in through the community and the Prince's Trust. You
know what, I did not know that before today, and I think that is absolutely fantastic, and I think that's something that our forum members will get behind. So brilliant, well done Crown, thank you very much for getting that to us. Right, okay, I've got a couple of questions here. Kane Booker, how many coats? Is it 3? And Lee Craig, do you believe that the sheen level of the Fast Flow gloss is as high as the oil-based?
Well, yes, we do. It's been specially formulated to achieve the high gloss level, but it does need 2 coats of the top coat to achieve that.
Yeah, and I think the idea with the 3 coats is you can't always control what the substrate is going to be like, so we always recommend using the undercoat, and then like Paul's already said, we put 2 coats of gloss on and it gives you that shine or the sheen that's as high as a solvent-based traditional gloss.
Brilliant, absolutely fantastic. Please do keep interacting. I know there's a few of you on your feed, it's coming up, good friends of mine that are commenting and watching and all the rest of it. We need as many questions as we can, otherwise we're all going to be sat here like numpties looking at each other and it's going to be slightly awkward, so please do interact as much as you can. Right, another question here from Lee Craig. This question could be aimed at any paint manufacturer, but how soon will all paint become water-based? You must know more than us.
Well, you could probably argue that for indoor use it certainly is already, certainly with the Fast Flow for the trim paints. Exterior, I don't think that'll ever happen. I think there'll always be niche products that you'll need that will outperform water-based equivalents, or it's difficult to formulate a water-based version of. Things like the furniture oils and stuff like that, specialist areas. But like all things, a lot of this is led by legislation, and who knows what's going to come up in terms of legislation. So.
Electric cars, water paste, trim paint, whatever next day. Question here from Rob Greenwood. I've heard people say that when you apply fast coat with a brush, fast flow with a brush, it can pull a bit. I always advise a fine mist of water first, but are there any other methods, application methods, or are there anything that we're missing?
Yeah, I think just spraying the surface can sometimes introduce a little bit too much water when you're doing the application. So one thing I've always recommended is just use a damp sponge. Just use it in a methodical way, just keep going along as you're painting, because what happens is, if you were to spray the full room or subsurface, it'd start drying anyway, so you're not getting the full benefit of it. So just keep a damp sponge with you and keep wiping it ahead before you start painting, and I think that gives the best effect rather than just going around spraying everything with water.
Right,
You can put too much water on sometimes, so like I said, I just recommend a damp sponge.
I think that is good advice for anybody thinking about switching from oil to a water-based product, because it is different. They are different application methods, and something like that might just ease the way we're going. For those of you that are only just tuning in, this is Mike Cupid, and we are coming to you live from the intergalactic headquarters of Crown Trade in Darwin, trying to answer as many of your questions as possible. Keep your questions coming in. Any that we can't answer on the feed, the team here will be busy answering the questions long after we've knocked off. There's a question here for me from Dave Fuller. How much was your new shirt? Well, I actually bought this shirt especially for this event, which it cost me £15. I bought it 2 days ago, and I ironed it very carefully, and I put it on about 9 o'clock this morning, and so far there are no stains on it, so I wish I'd spent a little bit more. Thank you very much for that, Dave. Next time, something a bit more relevant, please. Harry Stone, how do you ensure your product is the best opacity? Another one for you, Paul.
Well, we specially formulate it to achieve the optimum use of the white pigment we put in, which gives the opacity. We'll then compare that to other comparable products on the market from competitors, and we make sure that as a system it will cover extremes of colour change. So if you were putting a white over a black and things like that, within the applications department they do the wall paints, they will apply them over a black and white striped wallpaper that we acquire.
Yes, my department and Paul's department work quite hand in hand. So when Paul comes up with the formulation, he thinks, you know what, this is the next big thing. Being an ex-decorator, I then do all the applications that a decorator would on site. So we go over multiple different substrates to see if any of the opacity or application changes. And then once I'm happy with it, then we say, you know what, this is better than anybody's that's out there.
Brendan Casey has asked, what makes you different from other trade shops?
For me, Crown is all about the people. So you should see a vast difference in how committed and how engaged the guys are in our Crown decorating centres compared to what we've seen in some of our main competitors. We do have the largest array of sundries available in any decorating centre, and the unique thing about Crown is how we actually operate as a company. We're actually owned by the Hempel Foundation, which is a not-for-profit foundation, so any money that's made by the company is put back two ways. One, directly back into the company, or two, into charities basically. Hempel have just done a volunteer trip to Peru to assist there with educational needs and to raise awareness of some of the struggles that are going on over there. That trip's done on an annual basis to various destinations. So there's a fairly unique method there. There's no shareholder sat at the top raking in the profits. Everything's divided up and put back into the company. For me, I work on the front line. I'm a store manager. I've only come across positive and engaged people at Crown, and we love a challenge. So if you currently shop elsewhere, by all means get down to your local Crown Centre and give us a challenge. If there's a quote to be had, if there's a project that you've got coming up, or if there's a product that you're trying to, or you're interested in trying, give us a challenge. We will definitely get involved. There's not often we come across anything that we can't fix or we can't assist with. So for me, on the front line, it's the people and the service that we give.
I think that's it to a T, really. It doesn't matter what goes on at any paint factory or whatever. I think it's, as a decorator, it's down to us to actually go into any trade shop and just have a conversation with the manager there and see what they can do for you and strike that relationship. Do please keep sending in your questions. Let us know that you're there. I see Andy Scott's commented. Andy Scott is my claim to fame. He's the most famous decorator that you will ever meet in your life, and I've actually got his phone number. He rings me up sometimes and sings to me, which I absolutely love. Chris Millwood. Why do they not make fast flow undercoat as white as they do the gloss? Would it not be a better opacity? Paul, one for you.
Well, I mean, the white pigment, as I said before, is one of the most expensive components we put in a paint, and to put so much of that in to achieve really good opacity with the undercoat is a bit of a false economy, especially when you're going to be painting over it with 2 coats of the fast flow top coats. It's just not worth putting in.
Okay, absolutely fantastic. Just a quick one, something that comes up on the forum regularly, to be honest. What are the paint products on the British market like compared to the American counterparts? Are we behind, are we in front, or are they just a different product designed for a different market?
I think from an application point of view, I think we're very traditional in England, to be honest, and we quite restrict ourselves moving on to new ideas. It takes quite a long while. So from an application point of view, I think we're behind, but you've also got to take in, I think the environment is totally different. I think we have, as we all know, no matter where you are in the country, it's going to be cold, it's going to be wet. I think in America, they can sort of change their style of application based on the weather as well.
Right, okay.
So I think we'd sort of struggle moving to their paint due to the weather and things, I think, as well. You know, it can get quite cold in some of these new build properties, and I think we'd struggle a little bit sometimes. Until
they put the heating on it. Yeah. So it's not that we are behind,
no,
but
we're in
front. The products in this country are designed to be used
for what we would use them for, I would say, yeah.
Okay, absolutely fantastic. There's a question come through about colour matching. Can the fast flow be tintable now?
Yes, it's tintable. Yeah, there's expressions bases available.
Okay, absolutely fantastic. So how many colours roughly?
We've now got access to majority of the full crown spectrum now in CDCs. Yeah, we got the bases in to enable that tinting about a month ago, and it has picked up slowly but surely. People starting to move over to the fast flow once they've used it.
Okay, absolutely fantastic. Rick Spencer here. Will the fast flow gloss go flat after about 12 months, like I've found with one of your competitors' water-based gloss? Paul?
Well, most gloss paints, if you use them outside, will flatten off to some degree over time. This is usually caused by degradation of the polymer by the UV light. It's not a lot you can do about it. They will go over time. It's just how long it takes. Indoors, it certainly shouldn't lose much gloss at all.
Okay, absolutely fantastic. That's not too bad at all. When the paint sits for a while without being used, why then, when you use it, does the satin bubble and pit when it's dry? That one's from Darren Taylor, who's obviously used. Is that a...
How long are we talking, like, sitting before use? I've never seen it personally from using it. I can't say that I've ever come across any bubbling or pitting, but if he wants to get in touch and say how long, or a bit more inform what...
It could depend how vigorously the stain.
Yeah, you can introduce...
Yeah, it could be contaminated or anything, I suppose.
Yeah, it depends on the substrate as well.
Yeah. Somebody's asking you to open a Crown store on their doorstep, which is fine. Tony's saying blinded by science, so somebody's doing something right there. I think he was used to the word polymer, which, to be honest, blew my mind, and it's impressed me, and it's made my afternoon. So I don't know about everything else. Guys, keep your questions coming in. We need more questions than this. I expected better, to be honest. Lee Quinn, what's the best method for cleaning brushes after using this paint? I tend to find mine are still going hard after a while, no matter how much I clean them out.
Right, one little tip I found when using Fast Flow is a lot of people, because like you would with traditional solvent, is when you go for a break, so say you go for your lunch or you go for a coffee break, you put your brush, just submerge it in the solvent-based paint. Now with Fast Flow or any other water-based trim product, it's difficult because it starts to dry. So one little tip I found is just keep a paint kettle next to you, a bit of water in, and when you go for a break, just give it a quick swill. You don't have to clean it thoroughly, just give it a quick swill, spin it out, and then it should be ready to go when you come back off your break. It's that little gap in between that can just cause it to start drying in your bristles, especially up near the stop, because there's more oxygen obviously coming into contact with the paint. So as long as, I've found that the best way, as long as you just keep, when you have a break, just keep giving it a quick swirl, spin it out, and it should be alright to go straight back into the paint. And then hopefully when it comes to the end of the day, you're not struggling to clean your brushes out.
That is.
If that doesn't work, we have got plenty of options down at the Crown Decorating Centre. Plenty of systems that'll help you refresh your brushes or buy some new ones. It's entirely up to you.
Okay, absolutely fantastic. There's only a few minutes left now. We will carry this on. If you've got any more questions to come in, just keep asking on this feed, and I think you guys are going to carry on answering them on the feed.
Yeah.
Just one last quick thing, going back to the chap that's got some exterior windows to paint. So, presuming these windows have been painted before, we don't know what, the paint's been on for the last 10 years. Matt, can you take me through the prep method and application method and the process of completing the windows in, say, the Fast Flow satin? Yeah,
like anything, as a professional decorator, preparation is the key.
Okay.
It's 95% preparation, the painting's the easy part. So I would definitely make sure you're sanding, really sanding. I don't just mean a quick denib. Let's get it thoroughly abraded, get it back down to a nice substrate sort of thing, like you were doing a nice flush door and you want that mirror finish. It's no different. Get plenty of prep in, fill, get your substrate ready, and then there's no special technique with any of the trim paints. Just put them on as you've always done. It's all about that preparation. Get your undercoat on, get your top coats on. 2 coats, obviously, like we talked about earlier, gives that nice, I think it's got the best sheen of all the water-based products. When you've used it for the first time, you'll see it and you'll think, it's really nice sheen on it, really nice.
Lovely stuff, lovely stuff. I tell you what, just one more question before we go. There's a lot of decorators out there that are oil-based users through and through, and because of modern times, because of the selling points, they want to move into water-based. Can you guys just take me through all the benefits of switching from an oil-based to a water-based?
Number one, most important, health. I think health plays a big part. There's not always open spaces in the painting game. You've got airing cupboards, you've got boiler cupboards, and painting with solvent, you know, when you're doing it yourself, the fumes can sometimes start, well, I'm a bit dizzy after this, I need to go outside for a bit. There's none of that with water-based products. Clean out in water, we all have access to water. It's easy to clean off yourself as well, so no more white spirits, scrubbing your hands with white spirit, that's a thing of the past now. So I think personally the main pull is the health. It's the health reason for me.
People are creatures of habit, so there's pros and cons to both systems, etc. For me, looking at the Fast Flow system now, it leads on to what we've just stated there. There's an environmental benefit as well in regards to the Fast Flow products, with them being solvent based. We have to be a little bit more conscientious these days in regards to that aspect, and it's for me that's an important part of the Fast Flow.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we've tried from the offset to match the performance of the solvent-based products with the Fast Flow, and I think we've pretty much achieved that.
Well,
and all at very quick drying, and your turnaround time for your jobs is so much quicker.
that is exactly what I was going to say. Being able to apply more than one coat in a day has got to be a winner, hasn't it? It's got to be. It's got to be for you and your customers. Right, okay, we're going to wrap it up now. Feel free, we're going to do more of these live videos, I think, so if you want to keep up to date with everything that we're doing or everything Crown are doing, head over to the Crown Trade Paints page, subscribe, and we'll keep you updated on the forum. Thank you very much.
Thank you.